Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope that you're doing well and you are ready and prepared for English 9. Now my dear learners, as we have discussed in previous video lessons that, and especially in the introduction lecture, we discussed that how we are going to take these lectures forward with different competencies that are divided into different lessons. So far, we have done vocabularies and grammars, students learning outcomes. Then we moved on to another competency of reading and critical thinking's students learning outcomes. Now, here I have a student's learning outcome that you can see on your screen. I hope that I am audible. If not, then you can raise your hands or type in the chat box to aware me. Now, my dear learners, this is our lecture 7 and we are going to discuss word family. We are discussing the competency of vocabulary, and you know that gathering much vocabulary as much as you can is very important, is very essential in your language skills. Now let's read our students learning outcome and see what we are supposed to do and how we can proceed it further. I'm going to use English in most of my talk with you, in most of the lesson, a little bit of Urdu because we are going to take it like a combination, a mixture. So this is our students learning outcome. Let's read it. It says identify and correctly use patterns of word changes. Now this word is very important, this part. We're going to identify and use patterns of word changes that indicate different meanings or parts of speech. For example, now in your students learning outcome, you have an example over here. Let's take the word analyze. I hope that you are familiar with this word. Now you can see different kind of formations and variations of the same word in the form of analysis, analytical, etc. Now this whole part is coming from word family, and there are group of other words that are extracted from the root word. So this is why we call it word family. Now let's look at this word, advocate, and another word, advocacy. Now do you think they are somehow similar? ये एक जैसे हैं? Now this word is taken from the word advocate, advocacy, etc. Now this is how we are going to take it forward. We are going to form different words with one root word. This is our outcome, and let's see how we can achieve it. You can see a vertical linkage that links this SLO with your previous grades students learning outcome, just to give you an idea. Now here, let's take a look at the Holy Quran. Now in this one, we have taken an ayah from Surah Al-Fatiha. It says, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise is for Allah, Lord of all worlds. Now, let's understand this. Now, if you take a look at the word hamd. Now, this is the base form of the word that are shown here. For example, hamd, if you take it as a base word, as a basic word, now this is the base form of the root and translates to praise or commendation. ये दोनों इसके मतलब हैं. Now, a root word is the basic word जिससे हम मिलके और लफ्ज एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं और ज्यादा लफ्ज बनाते हैं, और जितने लफ्ज बनेंगे वो उस लफ्ज की फैमिली कहलाएगी. बिकॉज अगर आप उसे देखें, उसे पढ़ें, उसे बोलकर देखें तो दे साउंड द सेम, राइट? It means that it belongs to a base word, a base form. Now let's take the word Hamid. Now this is an adjective derived from the root meaning praiseworthy. So this word can become the word Hamid, and it can also transform into the word Muhammad. Now this is a proper noun derived from the same root. So we derived adjective and also a proper noun from the same base form, base and root word of a single word. Now, similarly, in the English language, you can make different kind of words using the same root word. Let's see how it goes. Now, before that, we have a pre-reading for you to storm your brains and understand it a little bit. Now, how can a word be transformed from one part of speech to another? Now, there are different parts of speech, right? Now, I want your full attention and your answers in the comment as well. And if you want to ask any question, you have to raise your hands and then unmute yourself to put your question forward. Now, we know that there are different parts of speech in English language, and each one is having a different function. But can we convert one word from one part of speech to another? Yes, it is possible with some rules that you need to follow. Now, can you name the 8 parts of speech and which ones are interchangeable? I hope that we are well aware of different parts of speech. We have been studying it for all of our grades that we have learned in the previous classes. We have learned different lessons. Now they are noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, conjunction, interjection, and preposition. Now, yes, there are some parts of speech that are interchangeable, जिन्हें हम एक पार्ट ऑफ स्पीच से दूसरे में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं, ट्रांसफॉर्म कर सकते हैं. अब हम देखेंगे कि वो कौन से पार्ट्स ऑफ स्पीच हैं, वो कौन से वर्ड्स हैं जिनको हम ट्रांसफॉर्म कर सकते हैं. नाउ think about that. Just like in the example, while we were reading the Quran, the words from the Holy Quran, we transformed a word into adjective and also it becomes a proper noun as well, right? So it is possible to do this. And now, here is a small activity. I hope that the screen is visible. I need your answers in the comment below, in the comment box. Now you have to identify the parts of speech of each underlined word. For example, oh, that is a surprise. Now, what kind of part of speech is this word?
Interjection.
Yes, it is introduction. It's also followed by an exclamation mark. It's a sudden expression. That's a good answer. Now, my uncle's car is in the shop, so can your mom pick me up? Now, according to the part of speech, where does this word so belong? Can anybody guess it? All right. Now, this is a conjunction. It's a transitional word like and, or, so, for. So all these are your conjunctions. Now, we are aware of conjunctions now. The campfire blazed brightly. Brightly is an
Adverb.
adverb. Syme left his history book on his desk.
Preposition.
It's preposition, good. A pretty cat was running through the park.
Adjective.
Yeah. She bought a new jacket at the store.
Verb.
It's a verb, good. And what do you think about this one? The volleyball team won their match.
Verb.
Yes. And my favorite place to visit is the bookstore. What is a bookstore?
A
Can
noun.
you say also a noun?
Yeah, it's a noun. Behind, again, it is a preposition, and swam is another form of verb swim. Now, the purpose of doing this activity is to remind you of all the parts of speech. Now we are going to see how we can transform one into another. Now let's talk about word families and transformations. I hope that our students' learning outcome is clear. We are going to identify and see, and also going to use that how we can transform one word into another, and some parts of speech are interchangeable, not all of them. You have to note it. You cannot convert and transform every part of speech into every single other. Now there are some exceptions. We are going to see it. Now, understanding the different parts of speech is essential. It is important for building strong sentences. Why do we learn parts of speech? It is to make our sentence structure correct and efficient so that we do not make any kind of grammatical mistake. Now all these are your parts of speech. You are already familiar with it. Let's revise it quickly. Now, a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. For example, in this sentence, the dog barked loudly. The word dog here is a noun because it is a thing. And it is a common noun because this is the name of a common thing that is seen every other day. It's very common. Now, it is not a specific name of that thing. This is what we just call it commonly and normally. And a pronoun, we know it is used for replacing uh, the parts, the names over and again, so that we use pronouns to avoid repetition. Repetition ना हो, बार बार हम एक चीज का नाम ना लें, तो हम क्या करते हैं? Pronoun यूज करते हैं. For example, she loves to read. The word she is a pronoun that replaces a specific person's name. Now, if I keep on saying, like, Ali is a good boy, Ali plays cricket, Ali does his homework. Now, I'm repeating the word Ali over and again. So, can I avoid it? Can we remove it? Yes. We will say, Ali is a good student. He, because Ali is a gender of male. He reads books, he plays cricket, etc. So we are replacing the name of Ali, the noun, with a pronoun. Now, verbs, we know that they show actions or a state of being. For example, in the sentence, she ran to the store. Ran is a past form of the word run, which is also a verb. Is it showing you any action? Running. Running shows an action of, when somebody is pacing faster, it means they are running. So it is an action. Now the word ran is a verb because it shows action. Now let's talk about adjectives. We know that adjectives are used to show quality of any noun or a pronoun. An adjective, it modifies a noun or a pronoun. For example, in the sentence, the blue sky is beautiful. Now, the word blue over here, what is it telling us? Blue is a color. And it is telling us about the sky. Now we can imagine that the sky is of that color blue. Now this word blue describes the noun sky, hence it is an adjective. Alright? So all those words that are describing, modifying, and giving a little much information, a little description about your nouns, they are your adjectives. Now, adverbs, we can call them that they are words that modifies a verb. Modify mean to bring a little change, to make it a little better. In the sentence, the bird sang beautifully. Now, here's the thing. When the word is mostly ending in ly, it means it's an adverb. The word beautifully is an adverb describing how the bird sang. How did the bird sang? Beautifully. खूबसूरत तरीके से. It is telling us the manner कि एक काम किस तरीके से हुआ. So this is our adverb, and our preposition shows the relationship between a noun and another word. All these prepositions you are aware of: under, on, beside. These are prepositions. Beside, on, inside, outside. All these are prepositions. It shows you the relationship between a noun and another word. Now, interjection, we know that is a word or phrase used to express your emotions. Like we saw it in the example, oh, what just happened? The word oh is a sudden emotion, like a surprise. When your friend says we have won the match, you're like, wow, that's great. So all these words that show sudden emotion and expression, they are words that show interjections. Now, wow, I can't believe I won the race. Now, this is an interjection because it expresses your feelings. Now, conjunction are words that connect two words together, two phrases, two different ideas. Now, conjunction connects words, phrases, or clauses. For example, in the sentence, I wanted ice cream, but I had cake instead. Now, but is connecting this part of the sentence with this part, I had cake instead. Now, these are all your conjunctions. You can remember this by using the word fanboys. F for, and, or, but, or, yet, and so. So you can use an mnemonic word. Mnemonic means जब हमने कोई लफ्ज याद करना है, कोई तरतीब, तो हम उसका पहला लफ्ज लेकर एक लफ्ज बनाते हैं और उस लफ्ज को याद करते हैं ताकि हमें वो तरतीब याद रहे. So here we will make the word fanboys. So we know that F for, and, or, but, or, yet, so. So you can remember conjunctions by using the mnemonic device fanboys. It comes really easy. Now, look at this. We can transform a word from one part of speech to another by recognizing and applying specific patterns of word changes. We are going to put that change in the word to convert it from one part of speech into another. Look, now how many parts of speech can be interchangeable? 4. Alright? Only 4 parts of speech are interchangeable. They are nouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. The transformation of adverbs may be discussed in the next grade. We will discuss it in the next grade. It's a little complicated to understand. Now, nouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. We can change these parts of speech into one another. They are interchangeable. A noun can become an adjective can become a verb, and so on. Now let's look at this word, analyze. Analyze is a verb. Now, yes, Abiha has a question, please.
Sir, there are two types of conjunction, subordinating and
Yes.
coordinating conjunction. So, we use fanboys in subordinating or coordinating conjunction.
We use it mostly in coordinating. All right. Okay. So the classification of conjunctions is another topic. We'll discuss it when it comes. All right. This is the verb. The word analyze. Now, can we convert it into a noun? Can we make it into a noun? Yes. How? Just by adding SIS, we can convert the verb analyze into a noun representing the process. To analyze is an action, and if I remove the E and add is, it becomes a noun. Now analysis क्या है? Analysis एक अमल है, लेकिन analyze क्या है? वो action है. Analysis is a whole process. It is a noun, but analyze is a verb. So same word, but it can be converted into different parts of speech. Now it becomes analysis. If I add is at the end, remove the e and add is. Now can it become an adjective? You know adjective क्या होता है? It modifies your noun. It gives more information about the noun. Now if I remove this part and add tickle, if I add tickle, it becomes analytical. Now analytical is a quality of anything. It becomes an adjective. Now it turns the noun analysis into an adjective describing something characterized by careful examination. Now look, the transformation over here. We had the verb analyze, which is a verb. इस चीज को analyze करें. जब हम analyze करेंगे तो वो एक अमल होता है. मैं analyze कर रहा हूं. I'm doing I'm analyzing. It's a verb. But if you add a little bit, if you remove the e and I and add is, analysis. Now this is something of a process. And this process is a noun. We know that every idea, every concept, the name, they are noun. Then you can convert it by adding tickle at the end and it becomes analytical. This is an adjective. ये एक खूबी, एक quality बन जाएगी किसी चीज की. Now, these are some examples. We use suffixes and prefixes to make different verbs. Now, succeeded is a verb. We can express this idea using the other two forms of success. Now, here in the previous part, look, we made some changes at the end of the word. We added suffixes. Words that are ended at the end of the word, they are called suffixes, and when they are added in the front of the word, they are called prefixes. So now, a trick to make these transformations is to add your suffixes at the end. You can get this PowerPoint presentation. You can see that how we can transform these sentences from one part of speech and into another. Now this is an adverb which becomes, now you can find parts of speech of a word in a dictionary by looking it up. You can find that this word belongs to an adverb or an adjective and so on. So it comes really easy. You can watch this simulation video later on to learn more about the topic. This is for your classroom practice. Read the words in the given table and write their parts of speech in the relevant columns. You'll get this in the PowerPoint presentation. It will be shared with you. You can extract this classroom activity easily. You can get this worksheet as well with the resources that you can solve. And for your homework, you have to choose nouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs of your choice and write their parts of speech. You can see all these resources, your worksheet, question bank, skill sheet, presentation, all of them are available in Chases Academy's YouTube channels. Video description, if you are seeing it in on that channel. Thank you for listening. If you have any follow-up question, they're welcome.